These are the moments where Stewie should have definitely been arrested. Starting off with the episode. Send in Stewie, please. This one is a bit different from the other episodes we see in this season because it is happening in one room, and none other than a child psychologist's office. Stewie gets in trouble for pushing a kid, Tyler, down the stairs at school and ends up in front of a child psychologist, Dr. Cecil Pritchfield, voiced by our favorite wizard. Right at the beginning of the session, Stewie appears to believe this is a great way to kick things off by saying something like,
I saw the kid who has cancer leave. That must have been fun.
"End."
I don't know why his parents are still bringing him to school. It's uncomfortable for everyone. I've never seen him when he's not just thrown up.
The session appeared to be going smoothly, even though Stewie wasn't exactly a pleasant client.
I haven't heard of any of the schools you went to, but I'm sure they were great. I mean, you're here, right?
Just as Dr. Cecil was attempting to address Stewie's strong views on various topics, Stewie hit him back with,
You seem to have a lot of strong opinions.
I do. Mostly because I come across a lot of dicks.
not exactly respectful behavior toward his senior, but hey, it's Stewie we're talking about. Things go south when Stewie tries to bond over their supposed shared British accents. But Dr. Pritchfield shuts him down, saying he doesn't hear any accent from Stewie at all.
You speak with a British accent.
Yes, I'm aware.
Well, I've often been told that I have a British accent.
Oh?
That's all you're going to say? Oh?
It's messing with his head because literally everyone hears his British accent, except for the good old doctor.
You mean to tell me you don't hear me speaking with a British accent right now?
No.
That's odd, because everybody else does.
After Stewie continues to insist that he also has a British accent, the doctor casually asks him,
Have you spent much time in Britain, then?
No, I haven't.
Excuse me?
I said no!
"Don't worry, Stewie. This is not something to be embarrassed about, you know. You're only a child after all." They even mention a thing that, I'm sure, we're all confused about.
But you're the absolute only person who hasn't noticed it.
Really? Everyone hears this?
Well, just the people who can understand me, which you appear to be one of. But that's too complicated to go into. I'm not even sure I get it.
The thing that sets Stewie off is basically a man doing his job.
After 5 minutes, you think you know me, is that it?
A little, perhaps. I am trained, Stewie, to observe things that give me an insight. And yes, I do feel I know you a bit.
Psychologists do that, Stewie. Don't get all worked up. This pissed Stewie off, so he decides to go, "Oh, okay, hold my juice box mode," after which he picks up the photo of the doctor and his husband. Here we can see a nice photo of two men apparently in love, but Stewie, being the sharp-eyed genius as we all know him, sees a lot more details than a normal person would.
At a quick glance, I'd say there's roughly a 26-year age difference between the two of you. Not quite large enough to raise eyebrows while still giving you a younger mind to shape.
He then proceeds to analyze their whole relationship based off of a mere photo.
Taking into consideration the math, he was probably born at a time when the most popular name was Michael.
Some of the observations would really make you uncomfortable, really.
From the dog-eared pages of that volume of Shakespeare, I imagine you wooed Michael with a sonnet or monologue each day. And no one had ever done anything so romantic as reciting Shakespeare.
For 6 long minutes, Stewie keeps exposing all the insecurities Pritchfield has about being older and less hot than his husband. The doctor tries to stay cool, but you can tell he's getting a bit uncomfortable.
While not as physically attracted to you as you are to him, that's okay. You each bring something important to the relationship. Isn't that what you believe, Dr. Pritchfield?
After listening to Stewie's rambling for a good while, Dr. Pritchfield finally points out that Stewie's intense need to tear people down probably means he doesn't have any real friends and that he's lonely.
You seem like a very lonely little boy.
Oh my God, I am! I'm so lonely!
Didn't quite expect that, eh, Stewie? He finally lets his guard down and starts opening up to the doctor. He even admits he's been faking his British accent.
This isn't even how I really talk. This is how I talk. The accent is nothing more than an affectation, a coat of armor to get me through the day, just an image I cultivated so I could feel special.
He confesses that he's been American this whole time. Our little boy finally, for once, can feel like himself. Isn't that beautiful? Well, I guess everything that's nice doesn't last long. Just as we finally see Doctor and Stewie get along,
I feel relieved, like a weight has been lifted. I can finally be myself.
I like this Stewie. I hope he stays for a while.
Doctor dares say something ridiculous like,
You're finally going to be just like everybody else.
"You just had to ruin it, Doc." Just as this happens, Dr. Pritchfield starts having a heart attack. He asks Stewie for his heart meds. But Stewie just had a realization.
There's one person that does know the real me, and that's you.
And the reason for basically killing the doctor is, of course,
Is this because I made you wait?
It's because I can't have anyone know the real me, and so you must die.
in his last moments of desperation, the doctor says that this will haunt Stewie forever. Poor Dr. Pritchfield.
Yeah, not worried. For me, this is kind of no bigs.
In his last moments, the doctor picks up a picture of him and his husband and starts quoting Romeo and Juliet. Truly a heartbreaking sight. Next on the list, we have a more gruesome case. In the episode Hannah Banana, Stewie finds out about Hannah Montana. And guess what?
The Miley Cyrus Tour is coming to the Quahog Civic Center for 3 nights only. Call to get your tickets now.
Oh my God!
Obviously, it's Hannah freaking Montana, so the tickets sell out in like 2 seconds. Stewie is devastated when he can't go, so he asks his friend Brian for help. The answer, however, is,
It's a stupid show and a huge waste of time.
but that doesn't stop him from doing anything he can to get his hands on those Hannah Montana tickets. The very next scene is Stewie showing Brian his long-lost brother, Jerry.
What's that big thing around his neck?
Oh, I'll show you.
Poor Jerry, he didn't last very long. If you think this was too much, Brian, you should brace yourself for this one.
There were 9 dogs in that litter.
Good job, Stewie. You really don't stop at nothing once it comes to getting what you want. So in classic Stewie style, he went above and beyond, completely unfazed by the chaos left in his wake, all for the sake of a pop concert. His ruthless determination once again proved that nothing and no one stands in his way, whether it's manipulating his friends, pulling out long-lost family members, or leaving a path of mayhem. Stewie has one motto: do whatever it takes. So, as Brian learned the hard way when it comes to Stewie's obsessions, it's best to just get out of the way. I should also mention that this was kinda all in vain, since Miley Cyrus isn't actually the real Miley, but an evil robot. Anyways, on to the next episode. If you think Jerry is the only dog Stewie has murdered, then you're dead wrong. We see this in the episode The Man with Two Brians, when Peter watches the popular stunt show Jackass and decides to try some stunts himself.
I'm Peter Griffin, and this is Shopping Cart Roof Shopping Cart, guys. Okay, go!
Ouch. That's gotta hurt Peter. In the next clever stunt Peter does, he gets even more hurt and almost drowns. Brian tries to rescue him but throws out his back. Fortunately for them, Joe is there. Thank God for those limp legs. Next thing you know, Lois is standing up for Brian, telling Peter it was reckless of him to endanger not only himself, but his best friend, too.
He's 8 years old, Peter. 8! That's 56 in human years.
Okay, Lois.
I mean, why do you think he almost drowned? He's old, Peter. Plus, he drinks and he smokes all the time, so take that 56 and make it 79, at least.
Okay, Lois, that's enough. The next morning, what seemed like a normal family breakfast turns out to be a little different.
Family, I'd like to introduce new Brian.
Hey, gang! Whose leg do you have to hump to get a hug around here?
Just as Brian started liking new Brian for obvious reasons,
And I got you this bag of weed. I don't smoke it myself, but I sure won't judge you.
Gosh, thanks.
Check you later, handsome guy.
Stewie breaks the situation down to him.
You have no idea what's going on here. He's not just a delightful new friend for the family. He's your replacement.
Oh, come on, that's ridiculous.
The whole family loves new Brian, and suddenly the OG Brian's left out in the cold. He then does what most of us would in his situation.
Everyone, I have an announcement to make. I've decided I'm leaving.
Stewie begs him to come back while listing all the bad things new Brian is doing to the family.
That's exactly why I miss you, Brian.
Forget it. I'm not going back as long as that new dog is there. As long as he's a part of that family, there's no place for me.
It's okay, Bree. We get you. After some time, Stewie finds new Brian in the kitchen making cookies. He then proceeds to tell him how no one likes him there and that he wants him to leave. Oh, and he especially doesn't like when he humps the chair.
Looks like a string of sausages with one empty casing in it.
I get it.
I mean, it's quite a sight, you know? I mean, when she's not looking, you should take a look at it, but good God, be discreet.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Damn it, new Brian, that was one thing you should have kept quiet about. Next thing you know... Stewie, of course, made sure the family thinks he took his own life by chopping himself up and throwing himself in the garbage. Totally believable. Okay, so just between us, I kind of feel like new Brian maybe had that coming. But there's one person who definitely didn't deserve to get caught up in Stewie's wrath. And that's Olivia.
Hey, Mom, can I have some soda?
No, but you can have some tasty juice. It has only 1/3 the sugar of soda.
Delicious.
In the episode Chick Cancer, Stewie finds out that Olivia, his old toddler actress friend, is basically at the end of her Hollywood career because her ad campaign got dropped. She's, however, doing an appearance at the Quahog Mall to open a store, and Stewie has a brilliant idea.
Oh, that's perfect, Brian. We have to go down there this weekend and heckle her roundly. I'll humiliate her worse than Luke Skywalker did to that rebel pilot.
Everything was going smoothly until he saw her, and well...
All right, Olivia, get ready to... Good Lord!
What is it?
Brian, she looks fantastic!
Stewie goes on and finds her and asks her to hang out at his place. Olivia's not into him at first, but he comes up with yet another brilliant plan.
Do women like it when you treat them like crap?
Well, I don't know if you want to be that black and white about it.
That's it, isn't it? Women respond when you treat them like crap.
The next morning, he goes over to her house and does what he intended to do.
No, if I was being mean when you opened the door, I would have said, "Oh, hey, Ray Liotta, is Olivia home? Oh, wait, you're Olivia. You see, I thought you were Ray Liotta because your skin has the texture of a decorative autumn squash. So I'll pick you up at 7?
That sounds wonderful.
Worked like a charm. They eventually bond, hanging out in the park, eating ice cream, and going to one of Olivia's friends' birthday parties. Olivia even introduces Stewie to her old buddy, Victor, who's also a child actor.
Oh, yeah, good to meet you. How are you?
Victor's such a good actor. He played a dead baby on CSI Miami.
Not so impressed, are you, Stewie? Stewie eventually starts getting super jealous of how close Olivia and Victor are getting, which leads to them fighting all the time.
He happens to be a very intelligent, successful actor. And you know he's done 3 national diaper commercials.
Yeah, they should put a diaper on his face. That's where the crap is coming out.
You were always good with words, Stewie. Olivia then tells him she doesn't have a ring yet, so he can't boss her around. Well, say no more.
I, Stewie, take you, Olivia, to be my lawfully wedded wife. What's that, Rupert? Oh, kiss the bride. Yes.
Everyone would think this would save their relationship. But on the contrary, it just worsens it. It hits rock bottom when they go on a double date with Brian and his girlfriend Jillian, and end up arguing even more.
Sorry we're late, everyone, but Jean Benet here took forever with her makeup.
Yes, and we probably would have shaved a few minutes off our trip, but Mr. Cheapo here refused to let the valet touch his big wheel, so we had to drive around the block 6 times till we could find a spot.
Stewie starts feeling like the whole relationship is doomed, but Brian convinces him to give it another shot. Stewie goes back to the playhouse to apologize to Olivia, and boy does he get surprised.
Sweetie, listen, I'm sorry.
Oh, Stewie, I thought you were at Chuck E. Cheese with your mom.
He quickly assumes that she's cheating on him by playing the silly putty he bought for her during the weekend.
Is that the silly putty I bought you this weekend?
So he gets furious, breaks up with her, and runs out of the playhouse. But it's far from over. Stewie is not the type of guy to just storm out of the house after a tough breakup right.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Is that smoke?
Idea for a farce. Cheating wife and pompous ass burned alive.
Stewie's jealousy gets a major upgrade in 8 simple rules for buying my teenage daughter. Meg's caught in her usual teenage drama. Awkward crushes, heartbreak. The works...
Hi, Meg. You busy Saturday night?
Neil, you ask me out like once a day, and I always give you the same answer. No!
But her parents, Zero sympathy. Instead, Lois and Peter keep signing her up for free babysitting duty every time they want to go out. It was only a matter of time before Meg's done playing nanny and finally tells them she's over it. Now, Lois has to actually hire a babysitter.
So I see here you worked for a family for a number of years. Can I call the, Herculoids for a reference?
A lineup of babysitters follow, but none of them seem quite right until...
Sorry I'm late. Can I still apply for the job?
An angel appears, L.A. Dawn. Think slow-motion hair flip model vibes. This girl is primetime babysitter material. Stewie's instantly smitten, falling head over diaper the second he sees her. Sure, she's an adult, and he's a literal toddler, but minor details, right? Stewie spends every minute plotting ways to make her fall for him.
Oh, hey, Ladon. Hey, what's going on? How you? Yeah. Oh, it's just me, Stewie. Just being myself.
He even hypes himself up when he learns she'll be babysitting him alone while Lois and Peter hit the movies.
Yeah, boy.
Fast forward to that evening. You'd think everything would be dreamy, right? Well, not so much.
Stewie, this is Jeremy.
Hey, little man. So you're the guy who's been trying to steal my girlfriend.
What, you... Girlfriend? What kind of sick, twisted game are you playing at?
The insult. Stewie tries trash-talking Jeremy to impress LaDawn, but she just drags him upstairs and puts him to bed because apparently babies aren't invited to cool adult hangouts, and we all know what these hangouts are.
All right, that's it. Jeremy must be destroyed.
Oh, Stewie, you weren't supposed to see that. Oh well, let's just pray for Jeremy. What's a baby genius to do? This picture perfectly explains what... Stewie then clubs him with a tire iron and locks him in Brian's car trunk. Problem solved, right? Wrong. With Jeremy out of the way, Stewie makes his move. Convinced LaDawn's gonna swoon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stewie. I'm just upset. Jeremy stopped calling me.
He what? That blackguard? Oh, come here. Let me just hold you for a while.
She, of course, ends up rejecting him, and now Stewie's real salty. What did you expect after doing such a thing to a lady?
Stewie, no! That is a bad place to touch. No. No, 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 no.
After a bad rejection, he decides to frame LaDawn and get her fired. And what a better way to do than putting her to sleep and staging everything.
Lois! Oh, thank God you're here, Lois. It was all her friends. They were doing marijuana and heroin. And they were taking eczema and touching each other.
Lois fires her on the spot, and LaDawn leaves heartbroken, but not before handing Stewie a mixtape. Immediately feeling guilty, Stewie tries to chase her down, but she's already gone. Life moves on until a few weeks later. Oh yeah, he suddenly remembers. Jeremy's still in the trunk. By now, the poor kid's gone from dehydration, starvation. Stewie's plan to clear the field worked a little too well. Yikes. Sometimes Brian's sarcasm knows no limits, and even his family isn't spared. The episode is The Manchurian Candidate. It starts off on a picture-perfect morning. Birds chirping, Brian sipping coffee, probably working on his next big idea, when suddenly...
Gentlemen, we have work to do.
Son of a... Turns out Stewie's constructing a new treehouse.
Treehouse? Sort of like a man cave / dance studio kind of deal.
Proud as can be, and, being the good sport he is, invites Brian and Chris to come check it out once it's done. Fast forward to the big reveal. Wow, Stewie, that really looks dope. It's basically every kid's dream. Brian and Chris show up, take a quick look at the treehouse, and then leave. Just as he thought he impressed them, he overhears them talking.
I have no idea what he's going for up there.
That's the thing. I don't think he does either. I'm sorry, he wants us to come watch a movie up there? On a Vizio?
Oh, is that what he was saying? I couldn't hear a word over those floorboards creaking.
Oh my God, Creek City.
Ouch. Stewie, feeling personally attacked, decides it's time for a makeover. A serious one. Out go the creaky boards, and in comes the ultimate man cave. Plush seating, a giant TV, stylish decor, and even complimentary frozen niches. Got anything to say now, guys?
Wow! It's all so cliche.
Cliche and just desperate. Literally not one thing about that place says Stewie.
It's like he Googled man cave and said that.
Seriously, guys, what else do you want? At this point, Stewie's done playing nice. If they can't appreciate his hard work, they'll pay for it.
Those weren't even the right frozen quiches.
Yeah, not great.
I spit mine out in a napkin and put it in his workout area.
Well, I think we know he won't find it in there.
That night, he lures them back to the treehouse with the promise of the best tennis ball ever. Bait they can't resist. They step inside, only to realize it's pitch black and the lights aren't coming on. Then Stewie appears out of the shadows, absolutely furious.
Didn't hear you guys come in.
Stewie, hey, we were just saying how cozy it feels in here.
Yeah, Brian used the term lived in, and I totally agree. There's just this real welcoming vibe.
There's no talking yourselves out of this one, guys. Stewie's had it. He ties them up, force feeds them the frozen niches they despised, and ignores Chris's desperate plea for water. No hydration for you, Chris. After a while, Brian and Chris make a break for it, but Stewie's right behind them, crossbow in hand, ready to end this. Thinking fast, Chris and Brian shower him with compliments on the crossbow's craftsmanship and the genius behind it.
I just don't know how you're able to make such cool weapons at your age.
Don't fall for that, Stewie.
Listen, if you guys want, I suppose I could show you how to make one.
You do that? Even after everything Chris said?
He fell for it. At the end of the day, he is just a child, right? Yet, as soon as they're outside, they go right back to their trash talk, and Stewie's had enough. In a rage, he shoots them both off screen with the crossbow. And then, for the ultimate twist, Meg wanders by, randomly topless for some reason, which distracts Stewie so much that he accidentally shoots himself. In Mr. and Mrs. Stewie, Stewie finally meets someone who matches his love for mayhem and weaponry. It all begins when he gets dragged along to a book reading for Brian's favorite author, Jonathan Franzen. But when Franzen decides to skip the event, Brian takes the opportunity to follow a college girl he's just met back to her dorm, supposedly to help her review a short story for class.
Come on, we're going.
All right, hold on. Is this what your parents are paying all that tuition for? So you can fuck dogs?
Hey, watch your tongue, Stewie. Good point nonetheless. The second they arrive at her place, Brian ditches Stewie and goes to her bedroom. The next day, feeling a bit guilty, Brian takes Stewie to the park to make up for abandoning him.
Excuse me, I didn't bring any of my toys. Can I play with some of yours?
No, mine!
Don't worry, Stewie. I'm sure someone wants to play with you.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I didn't push him back because he has leukemia.
My name's Penelope. What's yours?
Stewie.
At first glance, she's all smiles and sweetness, until she sneaks over to the bully and hands him a piece of candy laced with superglue. Is it really happening? Did Stewie finally meet his soulmate? Not only is she twisted like him, she also has an English accent. Marvelous, isn't it?
Don't push.
The two become inseparable, and Stewie is beyond thrilled when he visits her house and discovers they share a love for building deadly gadgets.
But what are these formulas for?
For these.
Things are just getting better and better. This is where it gets really wicked.
Do your parents have any idea?
My mother's not a concern. I don't really have to worry about her anymore.
Oh, do you have one of those white wine zombie moms?
No, she died. She was taking a tub and somebody came in and cut her head off.
Stewie's in love, he asks her out, and soon they're the ultimate chaotic couple. You've guessed it. Their idea of having fun is basically making the lives of others miserable.
All right, I made a wallet bomb and I planted it on Mort. As soon as he opens it, boom!
But Mort goes 2 weeks without opening it, driving Penelope crazy. Luckily, Stewie has a backup plan. He's planted a second bomb that'll explode when Mort burps into his hands. And sure enough, when Mort finally does, the explosion nearly finishes him off. Surely no one would open their wallet after nearly dying, right?
Oh, I better make sure my wallet's okay.
Their love story only escalates from there, taking them on a romantic rampage around the world. They knock down the Eiffel Tower, destroy a chunk of the Great Wall of China, and somehow manage to start a nuclear war between India and Pakistan. For their grand finale, they obliterate Copenhagen with a tidal wave, just for the fun of giving it a roaring 20s twist. For crying out loud, Stewie.
Roaring 20 tidal waving!
The next day, Tom Tucker reports on the mysterious worldwide spree of destruction, announcing that authorities are frantically hunting down the perpetrators behind the chaos. But for Stewie and Penelope, it's just another day in the life of young love and destruction. Okay, I know what you're all thinking. Just from watching this episode, we can clearly see that Stewie is key in the evil, right? But you know what they say, there's always worse than the worst. And the episode, The Hand That Rocks the Wheelchair, takes us down that darker path. At the beginning, we see Brian and Stewie in the park. Stewie is minding his own business, building in the sand, when suddenly some random kid kicks down his sand creation. How dare he? The only appropriate way to handle this is...
Hang on. Let me just get this little guy assembled. So, where are you from?
Newburyport. What's it to you?
Oh, I'm just always interested in where people are from. Everybody's got a story, that's what I believe. All right, I think we're all set here.
Luckily, the gun doesn't go off. Someone could have actually been hurt. You'd think Brian, being a best friend, would have some solid advice after Stewie nearly tries to kill someone, right? Wrong.
Brian, if you've got something to say to me...
All right, I think you're going soft. I mean, when was the last time you tried to blow something up or take over the world or even use the phrase damn you?
So, what's the first thing you do when someone calls you soft? Why, create an evil clone of yourself, of course. Stewie steps into his cloning machine, and after a little light show and smoke, he comes out feeling indifferent. Something clearly went wrong.
Oh, Jesus, you scared me. What happened to your clothes? Hey, what are you doing?
Seriously, Stewie, what happened to your clothes? Did you actually change them? Wait a minute.
What?
Oh my God.
Good Lord. I am a genius.
What is it?
Looks like the cloning machine did in fact work. You're a bloody genius, Stewie. Now you've got someone to hang out with who truly gets you. But wait.
Evil Stewie, come with me. We're going to run a few tests on... Ah!
Okay, maybe they won't be getting along as well as expected. How bad can things get, though? Okay, that's just brutal. So, Brian and Stewie head over to the house of the kid who knocked over Stewie's sandcastle earlier, figuring evil Stewie might want revenge. Bingo. There he is.
Oh my God!
Hey, enough. Stop.
Here come the parents.
That's an adult ear!
Seriously, someone's got to stop this monster. The episode basically follows evil Stewie on a rampage around town, killing everything and everyone he sees. Talk about bad timing.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Not even the Kool-Aid Man is safe. Later that day, we see Brian acting as bait, tied to a metal pole, looking completely defenseless. Just as evil Stewie is about to end Brian's life, the original Stewie leaps out of a tree and tackles him. The evil twin loses his gun, and they start fighting hand to hand. Things get dicey when they both lose their clothes. Now they're identical.
Oh, come on, not this thing, really?
Exactly, Brian. That just happened. Now let's hope you pick the right Stewie.
Why? They're just feet. What are they doing down there? They're like leg hands.
Whew. Nice job, Brian. Quick thinking. The original Stewie laughs at his feet like any normal baby. What an epilogue. The episode Stewie Kills Lois kicks off with the Griffins gathered around the table for Lois's birthday dinner. Each family member presents their gifts, which, let's say, are a bit underwhelming. But then Brian gives Lois 2 tickets for a cruise, and she immediately assumes they're meant for her and Peter.
What the hell?
Hey, what is this? We agreed on a $20 limit. We set a cap, you jerk.
Are you trying to make us look bad, you son of a bitch?
Don't get angry, Peter. You're going as well. So Lois and Peter head off on the trip together, leaving even Stewie behind, much to his dismay. Furious at being excluded, Stewie decides it's time to hatch a diabolical plan to humiliate Lois as payback for ditching him.
Oh, what? No, nothing. That's all part of your diabolical plan to humiliate her.
We can clearly see that Brian is laughing about this matter, but he is forgetting who he is talking to. An evil genius baby capable of destroying the world. If he wanted to, of course. Realizing Brian is mocking him, Stewie decides this time he's not waiting around. He'll take action as soon as possible to finally make one of his plans a reality.
I've been all talk. So much time wasted. Well, no longer. Lois is a dead woman. I'll do to her what douchebags did to the guitar.
We all thought Stewie would wait for them to come back from a trip, then do the deed. Wait a minute. Oh well, good luck, Lois. Your baby boy is coming. Damn, Stewie. You didn't waste time. That's your mother, for goodness sake. 6 days later, Lois is officially considered missing, and Stewie is thrilled to find that no one suspects foul play, even as the rest of the Griffins start to worry. With her absence stretching on, a concerned Joe breaks the news to a distressed Peter that the search for Lois has been called off, and it's time to face the reality that she may truly be gone.
This is fantastic. Nobody suspects a thing. Ooh, listen to my voice. That sounds cool. Hello, pigs in space.
Oh, come on, Stewie. No sign of remorse. A year later, the Griffin family has adjusted to life without Lois. Peter has started dating again, while Chris remains blissfully unaware, believing his mother is simply at a health spa. Meg, as stated by Stewie, has surprisingly thrived since the incident.
What are you talking about? Lois's death was an accident.
Which is just what someone who pulled off the perfect murder would want you to think.
What the hell are you... Stewie, did you kill Lois?
Of course I didn't, Brian. Remember what you said? I'm all talk. I wouldn't possibly go through with it. I'll just poop and fall asleep.
My God.
You just couldn't keep your mouth shut, Stu. Good thing you are a baby. No one would believe a baby committed a murder unless